Have you ever imagined that right in the heart of modern America, where technology and advanced agriculture dominate, there exists an army of over 6 million wild animals, silently damaging the economy and threatening human health? They are not fierce predators like lions or bears, but wild boars, creatures that look familiar yet are full of danger. From the vast fields of Texas to the humid forests of Florida, wild boars are spreading like a silent epidemic, causing billions of dollars in damage every year. Today, let's uncover their journey, from historical origins to devastating consequences, and why eating them is a worse idea than you might think. This is not just a story of nature gone wild, but also a lesson about the fragile balance between humans and the environment. Dear friends, according to the latest statistics from the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, updated to 2024, America is currently facing around 6 to 9 million wild boars, a number that may vary due to their high reproduction rate and widespread distribution. These animals are descendants of domestic pigs brought to the Americas by Europeans in the 16th century, mainly as a food source for new colonies. Over time, however, they interbred with Eurasian wild boars, imported in the early 20th century for sport hunting in the southern states. At first, they were free-ranged on farms, but many escaped due to natural disasters, farmer negligence, or were even released during the pork price collapse of the 1930s-1940s. The result was a genetic mix between highly reproductive domestic pigs and aggressive Eurasian boars, creating a super-adaptable hybrid, intelligent, resilient, and reproducing at an alarming rate. A female can reach reproductive age in just 6 to 8 months, producing 2 litters a year, each with 6-12 piglets, and sometimes up to 14 under ideal conditions. With high survival rates due to the lack of major predators like wolves or bears in some areas, wild boar populations can double in just 4 to 5 months, making them an uncontrollable, ticking time bomb. Today, wild boars are found in at least 35 states across the U.S., with the highest concentrations in warm and humid states such as Texas, estimated 2 to 3 million, Florida, about 500,000, 1 million, California, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. They adapt to a wide range of environments, from arid deserts to flooded swamps, even creeping into suburban areas. With strong snouts like mini bulldozers capable of digging up to 1 meter deep within minutes, they easily plow through soil, destroy root systems, and cause soil erosion. According to USDA reports, each wild boar can cause $200 to $500 in agricultural damage per year, including consuming corn, rice, soybeans, and other crops. Total annual damage is estimated at $1.5 to $2 billion for agriculture, and over $2.5 to $3 billion when including environmental impacts, such as ecosystem destruction, biodiversity loss by competing with deer and native birds, and traffic accidents. Thousands of collisions annually causing injuries and vehicle damage. A Texas A&M University study found that in Texas alone, agricultural losses from wild boars exceed $200 million per year, directly affecting more than 150 types of crops and livestock. To respond, the U.S. government spends at least $100 to $150 million annually on control programs, according to USDA's National Feral Swine Damage Management Program. Measures include organized hunting, using firearms, bows, or even helicopters in Texas, large corral traps that can capture entire herds, experimental reproductive vaccines such as Gonacon, a hormone that suppresses fertility, and high-tech monitoring with infrared cameras, drones, and GPS collars attached to some animals for tracking movements.
Evet arkadaşlar, Mısır'dan 2 tane domuz çıktı.
However, the outlook remains grim. Wild boars are spread across more than 3 million km², quickly learning to avoid traps. Their intelligence is comparable to domestic dogs, and showing high resistance to control methods. A 2023 USDA report stated that even after killing more than 700,000 annually, populations still grow 20 to 30% each year in some regions. Wild boar meat may sound appealing with its wild flavor, high protein, and lower fat compared to domestic pork, but experts from the CDC and USDA warn that consuming it carries serious health risks. According to the CDC, wild boars host more than 30 infectious diseases, the most common being Trichinella spiralis, a parasite that can survive in undercooked meat below 71 degrees Celsius, causing symptoms such as high fever, severe muscle pain, facial swelling, pneumonia, and even heart failure or death if left untreated. About 10 to 20 cases of trichinellosis are reported annually in the US, most linked to game meat. In addition, over 30 to 40% of wild boars in southern states carry Brucella suis, causing brucellosis, undulant fever, with symptoms such as recurring fevers, chronic joint pain, months-long fatigue, and possible infertility or organ damage. A major outbreak in China in 2019 infected more than 3,000 people from contaminated wild boar meat, leading to a temporary hunting ban. Another threat is African swine fever, ASF, which has spread across Europe and Asia. While not transmissible to humans, it could devastate the U.S. domestic pork industry, worth $20 billion annually if introduced, with mortality rates up to 100% in infected pigs. Furthermore, the omnivorous diet of wild boars, including urban waste, rotten meat, toxic plants, animal carcasses, and even chemical fertilizers, causes their meat to accumulate heavy metals at levels 2 to 5 times higher than domestic pork. The EPA has found unsafe levels of lead, mercury, and cadmium in meat samples from Florida and California, which could cause chronic poisoning, neurological damage, and cancer if consumed over time. Processing wild boar meat requires strict quarantine systems, professional slaughterhouses, and veterinary inspections, such as microscopic parasite checks. However, the U.S. currently lacks widespread infrastructure for this, mainly due to high costs and limited market demand. Moreover, many animals are hunted with lead bullets, leaving metal residues in the meat and increasing toxicity risks. As a USDA official said at a 2022 conference, the top priority is protecting agriculture and public health, not turning wild boar into a dish on the dinner table. On top of that, American consumer culture is a major barrier. People are used to clean pork, certified organic or hormone-free, pre-packaged in supermarkets like Walmart or Costco. A 2023 survey by Safari Club International found that only about 7 to 10% of the population had ever tried wild boar meat, mostly local hunters or rural residents. History has shown the consequences. In the 1970s, a wave of wild boar consumption in Louisiana led to a trichinellosis outbreak affecting thousands, forcing the government to strengthen public health campaigns and issue safe cooking guidelines, such as freezing meat at 15 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, for 3 weeks to kill parasites. Today, the CDC continues to warn through online campaigns and medical materials. Although American hunters kill hundreds of thousands to over 1 million wild boars annually, with Texas allowing year-round, unlimited hunting, most of the meat is destroyed on-site or buried to prevent disease spread. Building safe meat processing facilities is estimated to cost millions of dollars per site, far higher than direct disposal, around $20 to $50 per animal. As a result, only a small amount is donated to local food banks after strict inspections, but the numbers remain negligible. Instead of exploiting the meat, experts recommend focusing on sustainable control measures. Currently, control measures are being upgraded. Texas deploys night hunting with infrared scopes and helicopters. Florida uses live traps followed by humane disposal, while the USDA partners with universities to research reproductive vaccines, achieving 70% success in some herds. The CDC emphasizes that every $1 invested in control can save $10–25 in long-term damages, a far wiser investment than risking wild game consumption. The wild boar problem is not only evidence of humanity's struggle against nature, but also a consequence of uncontrolled interference in ecosystems. With over 6 to 9 million roaming free, the US spends hundreds of millions annually to contain them. It's not that their meat isn't tasty or nutritious, it's that the consequences of one meal can come at a steep price, from prolonged illness to economic disaster. Think twice before you try a bite, because sometimes nature is not always a gift.
Evet arkadaşlar, mısırdan 2 tane domuz çıktı.